I'm calling out to all the Natalie Merchant fans. Make your presence known. What's up, guys? GeorgeTheCloud here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to my life. So we got a special coffee request by Raymundo. Thank you so much for the support. So this is Natalie Merchant interview on the Charlie Rose show plus performance of The Living, 1998. So I've been watching a lot of Natalie Merchant interviews. You can find them on my channel. And just the other day, I watched the VH1 to 1 interview, if I can open my eyes here, from 1995. So this was when she was starting her solo career and she was about to, go into the Tiger Lily album. So I imagine this is kind of right after the album, and maybe they're going to talk about how it went. About her, actually it says here about her second solo album, Ophelia. Okay, all right. Well, let's take a listen here. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you would like to support my music journey, please check out my Patreon. It helps out a lot. Grab some popcorn, fill up your water, put your headphones on, and let's go.
Natalie Merchant is here for over 12 years. She was the lead singer of the successful band 10,000 Maniacs. In 1993, at the height of their success, she left the band to start her own solo career. Her first album, Tiger Lily, sold over 4 million copies. She has just released her second album called Ophelia to critical rave reviews. She joins me now for a conversation and later a performance, and I am pleased to have her here for both. Welcome back.
Good evening, Mr. Rose.
Good evening, Ms. Merchant. How are you?
Good evening, everybody.
Last time you were here, we talked about you with Bob Thurman.
Talked
we
about
talked
Tibet.
about Tibet, did we? Anything happening there? Is it getting any better at all? Do you have any optimism?
Well, as far as I actually met the Dalai Lama. I met His
He was
Holiness.
here about a month ago, right?
Yes, I met him at the
Really?
opening ceremony of Tibet House. We finally, after all the concerts and other fundraising events, we were able to purchase a space, a permanent home for Tibet House, and he blessed the temple there and gave a speech, and all the board members had a chance to speak with him, and his assessment is, that if Tibet doesn't receive its autonomy within 20 years, it's a frightening situation because of the loss of culture. That's his concern.
Another 20 years of this kind of oppression, and there'll be
the loss of another generation,
eradication.
not being able to speak their language, not being able to practice their religion, and losing their customs.
You had an interesting life. I mean, you were friends of our friends, people like Philip Glass, and you knew Allen Ginsberg. And,
Right.
I mean, you've been very interesting in terms of, you may be the only person who's involved in Lilith Fair who's had that kind of experience.
I don't know. Different artists have different backgrounds, histories.
Tell me about this album, Ophelia. Look at this cover.
Going
Exactly
right into the
What
album.
is
saying? What is that saying?
Well, flip it over. And
What is that?
is that
What
saying?
is that saying?
And then
Well, okay. What is this saying?
we'll open it up and see what that's saying.
What are you guys saying?
There's all different characters.
This is all the. Oh, look. So
Yeah.
here we go. See that?
The title
it-
track is Ophelia, and in the lyrics of the song, each verse reveals a different
Ophelia.
woman of a different era and a totally different personality, and that's.
Which one is more you?
I think there's a little of all of those.
All of these, huh? Really? The range.
So I don't. I haven't dived too much into the album itself, the meaning, etc. But I wonder if it was based off of Ophelia from Shakespeare, if I'm not mistaken. Because actually, recently Taylor Swift came out with an album. I think, The Death of Ophelia. It's either the album or a song. I reacted to the song, and that had a similar pose to the album that we see here. So I think there's a connection there, and based originally on the play Ophelia.
From this to this
Yeah.
to
The
this
suffragette.
to this, which is a victim of abuse or something, or
No, she's
just somebody who's.
just a bit lost at the moment. She'll come back though.
This is what?
She's very proud of her gold medallion. She's a She's an athlete.
Tiger Lily, you did it all.
Production. And,
Yeah, I mean, you produced it, you wrote all the songs, you single-handedly went out and promoted the heck of it, right?
And I funded it too.
That's what I mean, funded it from your own cash.
And it was distributed by Elektra. I had a lot of help from a major label.
Now, what about
Elektra Records, I know that name.
this? Is this different for you?
The major difference with this album is I took the advance from the company. I didn't finance it myself.
You didn't take risk money from your own pocket?
No, it didn't seem necessary because I'd proven myself with this, and I was considered not a risk. So, I mean, not that I was considered a risk before because the 10,000 Maniacs had been successful, but I like the autonomy. I like being able to be in the studio and not be answerable to anyone because I funded it myself. But I did take the advance. But that's not important. That's just a technicality. The important thing is that with this album, I invited about 33 musicians to be involved in it, and
Wow.
many of them I had met since I left 10,000 Maniacs, and I was so taken by what they did as individuals that I wanted to collaborate with them. And there's a broad range of people. There's Gavin Bryars, the English composer. There's Young Chun Lamo, it's a Tibetan devotional singer. Don and Karen Paris from the Innocence Mission. Lokua Kanza, who is a guitar player from Zaire. And the list goes on and on.
What's the album about? What are these songs?
This guy, and it's just commentary, but this guy seems kind of intimidating for an interviewer, especially compared to the other interview. I mean, everyone has their style, their thing, right? And I'm sure he's very successful and, you know, critically acclaimed. But just right now, I feel like there's, you know, a bit of tension. I don't know. I just find him kind of intimidating. But we continue.
Say.
Well, there's no central theme or, you know, thread of continuity between the songs other than I wrote them. I'll have to say that I had a certain group of people in mind when I wrote the album, and they were a lot of the young people in the country, in America, and just kind of wondering what I would say to them if I had a chance to speak to them. And I think I spoke to them in several of the songs.
And what is it you want to say to them?
Well, I wanted to express my empathy and my understanding for that life is confusing, and the influences that may affect their lives can be contradictory, and that there's a lot of cruelty and in the world, but they have to, rather than respond in kind to that cruelty with more cruelty, to just respond with patience and perseverance and work toward a more just and humane world. And I didn't get all didactic with the kids. It was more, especially with the song "Break Your Heart," it's just that I know that people will disappoint you, but don't be a disappointment to us, you know?
It always happens. Here's some of the titles. Ophelia, Life is Sweet, Kind and Generous, Frozen Charlotte, My Skin.
Kind and Generous. I have heard that, and what a beautiful song.
Break Your Heart, Ring of May, Thick as Thieves, Effigy, The Living, When They Ring the Golden Bells, and Ophelia again. How is it different?
I feel like actually I've only heard Kind and Generous from that album. None of the others ring a bell.
Golden Bells and Ophelia
Speaking of bells.
again. How is it different from this, in your mind?
Let me see what was on that record. I can't even remember now.
You wrote these songs.
It's a long time ago. This is ancient history for me. Well, the main
I bet you
difference...
not. I bet you whenever you go out, you have to play those songs.
We're actually in rehearsals right now, so I'm determining which of these songs and which of those songs.
Right.
No, I think that there's some similarities. I think I drew from a larger group of songs for this album. I was more selective. I was so anxious to get this out. I'd left 10,000 Maniacs, and I just wanted to put something
Do well
out.
in the first solo effort.
I just wanted to put anything out. I didn't want a long period of time in anticipation. Oh, she's been doing it, you know, writing for 4 years. What'll it be? Those were the first 10 songs I wrote after I left the band, and I just put them on a record.
You just said, I'm going to decide now what's going to be included on the sort of playlist for
Right.
a tour, right? For this summer's tour.
Right.
You decide everything. I mean, you really are in charge.
Of course.
His face.
I am Natalie Merchant Incorporated.
Yeah.
I am the
My
president of the board,
The
CEO.
chairman of the board and CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are, because creative control is essential to you.
For me,
Yeah.
it is. And I've made a lot of sacrifices. I mean, a lot of things I could have done in my career that would have given me greater exposure or more money, you know, but I just said, it's not right for me. And I've always maintained control of my publishing, so you'll never see one of my songs on a commercial advertising sneakers or...
And this is what makes Natalie different. Having creative control is key, is so important. I've heard so many stories, you know, nightmares of, you know, musicians kind of losing their way and so it's completely unrelated. But on my main channel, George the Cloud, I reacted to a song by Ren. He's an independent artist, and the song is Down the Road. That song is about how the music industry becomes kind of like this power, and they really want you to sign the contracts and do this and that, and just like maybe you will find a connection to the point I'm trying to make, but highly suggest you check him out. Incredible artist, Ren. So back to this. Natalie Merchant Incorporated.
cars or anything like that.
You would not allow that to happen.
No. And I'm making stipulations in my will that it won't happen when I'm dead, or you'll hear me turning in the grave.
Nobody can go buy a song.
No, because
to use in a
I
commercial.
own my own publishing.
How come you got so smart about this?
Michael Stipe told me.
Is that right?
He said, your publishing is your virginity. Don't ever give it away.
Somebody write this down. Your publishing is your virginity. Don't ever give it away. Michael Stipe. The name kind of, is he from REM? I'm forgetting, but okay.
And I didn't know if that was the best advice as an analogy, but it struck me as a really good idea. Don't give it away. Don't. Yeah. Because most people who do publishing deals do that. They kind of gamble that they won't be successful, because you give a percentage of your royalties away, and also you give a large percentage of control away. Unless you stipulate that you have to have written consent for every use.
All of that comes from a learned kind of thing.
I've been in the business for 17 years.
For a while. You know, I know. I've learned. I hear from Michael and others. You tell me.
So
John Landau, he knows something too. So you hear, how much of this though goes back to, I mean, the stories of you as a kid, single mother. I mean, your mother having to really work hard, both in terms of to make.
She's a single working mother.
Yeah, single working mom.
Which I think a lot of people in my generation, a lot of women in my generation grew up with that influence.
Right. And it influences you how?
To be independent.
Right.
And self-reliant.
Look out for yourself and be self-reliant. Yeah. And don't depend on somebody coming along to help you. Depend on making it your own creative control.
But my mother was vulnerable too. She wasn't just the fierce warrior. Goddess or anything like that, but she was very I always assumed that I would grow up and I would have a job. I never assumed that I would grow up and marry, and that would be it for me as far as the outside world was concerned.
Would you like to do that?
Retreat?
No, marry and have a reasonably traditional part of you.
I'm too much of a radical to believe in marriage.
Radical politically?
Yes, and socially. I just don't want to have my like the affairs of my private life sanctioned by the state or by organized religion.
Did she ever marry? We're going to do a quick search here because I'm curious as to how well this aged here on the interview. Natalie Merchant. Marriage. This feels like I'm nosy here. Did? No, actually she did. Danielle de la Calle. She actually married. From what I'm finding here. Did Natalie Merchant get married? Yes, singer-songwriter Natalie was married to documentary filmmaker Daniel de la Calle. They married in 2003, had a daughter named Lucia, and later divorced, which confirmed in a 2012 interview. That's a shame, but she did get married.
Religion. It's just I know my feelings. And I think to me a marriage bond would be if I had a child with someone. That would be a life commitment. I would be committing myself to be involved with this person for the rest of my life.
Children important to you?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
But she didn't. I caught you. I finally caught you, Natalie. Now, I mean, I'm just joking, but it's fun to do the research and see what became of her her thinking at this time.
I mean, having them yourself.
Having them myself isn't as important as just children in general. If I am capable of having a child, I'd love to have one, or two.
2 or 3.
But I've always envisioned, like, for me, the long-range plan is to work with disadvantaged children, whether handicapped or financially disadvantaged or troubled kids. I've always when I was in school, I worked as a volunteer in a summer camp. It was back in the golden era of when money was available for projects like this. But we had a summer arts camp for handicapped children, and I decided that I wanted to work with handicapped children at that point. And for me to buy a large piece of land and build a camp for children, something like that, yeah, when this show business thing is over.
I mean, I've said this before, she's such a humanitarian, and it's very rare to see that in somebody that is super successful in the music industry, because they're almost like total opposites if you think about it. But she is a different type of specimen.
When you might think it might be over.
10 years.
You could do this. 10 years?
8 years.
You're in your mid-30s now, so 10 years, you could say,
Maybe
do
less.
something else. Can you imagine what you would do if you weren't writing and singing?
I think I'll always write and sing, but I don't necessarily have to release records that are multi-platinum and go on world tours. That's not as important to me as having my time at the piano every week.
Just if you knew what we've already talked about, and that's all you knew, it's inevitable that you would have left 10,000
It's inevitable.
maniacs. Just knowing you that much.
So you're asking me?
Yeah. What was the question?
That you were going to
yeah,
leave.
yeah.
I mean, you just based on what we know already about you at this table.
Oh yeah, eventually, someday.
You
But
were going to leave
and they knew that too. That
because they knew their girl, their lady, their woman, their person, whatever.
No, it was discussed in depth before. 2 years before I left, I told them, had a serious meeting with them and just said, my goals and expectations are this, and I want to be able to, my main thing was I wanted to write my own songs.
Yeah.
And I felt like the rest of the band was like a censor board, I always had to, because they wanted to write songs too. So I always knew I wanted to write my own material, and so I couldn't stay in a band forever.
You had to be solo for that.
Yeah.
This is from the film Ophelia, a clip in which you play multiple characters.
Right.
Here it is. Roll tape.
This was like a fantasy to do this film.
Right, I
I've
guess we're not allowed to see that on YouTube.
always wanted to write a script, and it's always been like a secret idea of mine to lip sync in different languages and have subtitles. And it was to reach out to the European audience. That was one of the ideas I had, and also to create some mystique. And I used to listen to concept records when I was a teenager, and all I had was the package and the record, and it would really intrigue me, and I'd want to enter the world of this musician that they had created for me, someone like David Bowie. And that was kind of, it was in the back of my mind when I made the film.
Do you find more role models to what you want to be among male musicians and female musicians?
No, not necessarily. I mean, one of the most admirable musicians, singer-songwriters that I look up to is Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell. I could see it. I've reacted to Joni Mitchell. I discovered her a few months ago, and I actually did a reaction to the entire Blue album, and man, that's pretty cool, right? Joni Mitchell, very, for the time, right? 60s, 70s, female, very incredible songwriter, independent as well. So I could see that train of thought, going into Natalie and following those footsteps.
How about among men?
Peter Gabriel, probably.
These
I
are
mean,
all
these
very
are-
politically conscious people.
And English speaking. A lot of the artists that I've loved throughout time speak other languages. I don't know exactly what they're saying to me, but I just love the passion in their voices. Well, I listen to a lot of West and East African pop music, and I don't speak French, so I usually don't know what they're saying to me.
But how about people like Bob Marley?
Bob Marley had a very powerful impact on me. He was like, and probably the experience of most people in America is like the first voice from the third world that was discussing oppression and rebellion. I'd never heard anyone from, I lived in a small landlocked town, farming
Jamestown,
community.
New York?
In Westfield.
Yeah,
near Jamestown. And no one ever was in my sphere of influence, physical sphere of influence that was from the third world. And then I remember going to somebody's house one summer day and then handing me a Bob Marley record, and I was hearing, burning and a looting tonight. I was like, wait, something's happening somewhere in the world that I need to know about. Get up, stand up. And then I heard stories of people like attacking reggae artists, coming to their homes and shooting into their windows late at night, some kidnappings, a lot of repressive acts against them. And I didn't know about those things. And it made me look into them.
Has anybody ever told you look a little bit like Geraldine Chaplin?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not the first person to tell you that, am I?
Jolene Chaplin?
Like Geraldine Chaplin?
Mm-hmm.
Is she related to Charlie Chaplin? But going back on what she said and her inspirations, Bob Marley, Joni Mitchell, you kind of catch that drift, right? Politically active, songwriters, and I mean, back in those days, it was more like the hippie movement and stuff like that. So it was very, very intense. It's like an awakening in America. But with Natalie, in the 90s, she's kind of like that version, you could say. Because actually thinking about it, in the 1990s, I don't know that many other artists that were doing things like Natalie, writing about these important topics, absorbing the world and reporting back as she does. So she's kind of like, what you would have seen in like the 60s and 70s, but in the 90s, except I would say in a more calm, reserved, and like educated way, I guess. Not to say that the others aren't educated, but you get what I'm saying. She's very like well spoken, and she wanted to be a teacher, so that's how I always see her, in that manner.
So I'm not the first person to tell you that, am I?
No, my mother used to tell me that.
Really? Is she still alive?
My mother? Yeah.
Yes. You close to her?
Yeah, we're close. I mean, we're not physically close. She lives down south.
Yeah. Where?
South Carolina.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. So where is it all going? I mean, immediately you're going to go off on this Lilith Fair tour for the summer. That's always a big deal, the hottest tour in the summer. It was last summer.
Yeah, tickets are selling extremely well. Yeah.
But beyond that, I mean, what's this about for you?
I have secret long-range plans for the
we'd
next.
like for you to disclose them.
Secret. Oh.
I have secret long-range plans for the
We'd
next.
like for you to disclose them this evening.
No, not at national television. Sorry.
We would like to know what it is that
sorry, Mr. Rose, that cannot be done.
What stories lurk inside
It cannot be done. Okay.
the heart, the beating heart
But
of
I'll just give you one clue.
Natalie Merchant.
We have multimedia plans for the next record.
Multimedia. Well, just
Multimedia.
give me two clues.
No, I can't do
No.
that.
I mean, well, just hint. You're going to put it on the internet? Is that simple? Or what?
No. No, it'll involve the theatrical arts, and it's another like this record under here. Ophelia was a sort of a dream come true as far as collaborations with musicians. But I feel like I made some great connections, especially with someone like Carl Berger who did the string arrangements, and I'm already starting to write songs for the next project, and I'm gonna navigate your question.
I know you're sort of pulling away as
And then
fast
I'm
as you
going
can.
to go off that way.
All right. What are you going to perform for Little Old Me?
I was thinking of doing The Living.
Great.
It lends itself really well to the piano voice.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having
It's great
me.
to
It was
see
a
you.
privilege.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My thanks to Natalie Merchant. She will be performing. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, let's see it.
What's it like there outside with the living, with the living? From a fallen down place I can hide from the living, from the living. Oh, I don't get to stay with the living. For a bottle has been to me my closest friend, my worst enemy. For afraid that I walked a fine line, squandered it all and wasted my time, and I don't stand a chance among the living. No, I don't think I'll remain with the living. For the lovers I gambled and lost, count my mistakes, whatever the cost. I'll go off, I'll make myself scarce. Ooh, come tomorrow, you won't find me here, 'cause I don't care to stay among the living. I don't think I'll remain with the living. And I don't care to stay among the living. I don't think I'll remain with the living.
Oh, that's man, that's kind of like a dark way to end the interview. You know what? We were just chatting, we're having fun, we're doing accents and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, we get to this presentation, and I don't care to stay among the living. Uh, First things first, we hit the like. I am subscribed to Natalie, and I'll have a link of the original video down in the description below. So I had never heard that song, The Living. Okay, to me, it seems kind of straightforward, very direct, short in terms of lyrics, right? Repetitive. I don't want to stay with the living. And so to me, that sounds pretty somber, pretty pretty ominous, except her voice is, it's so sweet and beautiful that it kind of, you don't know what to think. It sounds beautiful, but the lyrics represent something else. I'm going to have to look up the meaning here for the song. So let's take a look, and I'll wrap it up on that note. So The Living from her 1998 album Ophelia is a somber reflection on grief, isolation, and detachment from the world of the living. Inspired by observing her grandfather's grief, the lyrics explore the desire to hide from life after loss, fueled by regret, personal mistakes, and the pain of loneliness. By her grandfather. Huh. So yeah, the narrator feels separated from the living, hiding away in a broken down place and questioning if they can return to a normal life. The lyrics imply a life filled with a wasted time and failed relationships, featuring lines like, "Count my mistakes, whatever the cost." The song references a bottle serving as both a friend and enemy, indicating alcohol is used to deal with the pain. Of course, classic. Man, I remember there was another song by Natalie that I think, am I even, is this the, am I with the right artist here? Like, the song was about her grandfather and like the loss of his wife, so her grandmother. Was that Natalie Merchant? All right, I'm sorry if it's not, and I'm completely getting this the wrong person here. So I haven't reacted to The Living for sure. Ophelia, though, I've not reacted to that album either. Maybe it was in the other album that she did. But anyway, yeah, very insightful interview as always. I'm glad, to kind of pick her brain, and I think the interview got better and better as it went on. Like, she warmed up and got more comfortable, opened up, about her life, her thoughts. Did not reveal exactly what she was going to do there with the multimedia project, but maybe I will find out at some point, since this already happened more than 20 years ago. But okay, very cool. Thank you, Raymundo, so much for the request. I love these interviews, and it's very nice for a change, right? Aside from the actual music, I can watch the people, how they act, how they talk, and what they're thinking about. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and at the end, do a flip. Till the next.